top. No, just put your hand up. Close enough.
The New Ghosts, Thursday, 9/8 Central on CBS.
Augusta Regional Airport, now offering direct flights to Washington, D.C.
Follow News 1226 on Instagram to see what's trending in your area.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, first at 4.
The hunt for Brian Laundrie is far from over, but today we're learning more about how exactly Gabby Petito died. Just in the last hour, a Wyoming coroner released the cause of death for the 22-year-old, saying she was strangled, and the case is now a homicide. As Michael George reports, authorities believe Petito died at least 3 weeks before her body was found.
A Wyoming coroner revealed more details Tuesday about the homicide of 22-year-old Gabby Petito.
The cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide.
Petito disappeared on a cross-country road trip with her fiancé, Brian Laundrie. In August, police in Moab, Utah stopped the couple after a passerby reported an altercation. Petito's body was found last month along the border of Grand Teton National Park.
All I can tell you about her remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
In Wyoming, only the cause and manner of death are released. Former FBI agent Jennifer Coffindaffer says it's not unusual for details from the medical examiner's report to be withheld until a trial.
In a high-profile case like this, law enforcement and the legal part of this case, which is the United States Attorney's Office, is going to want this information under wraps.
The still missing big piece of the equation, the whereabouts of Petito's fiancé.
Any sign of your son?
Last week, Laundrie's father briefly joined the exhaustive search for his son at a Florida nature preserve. Police want to question Laundrie about Petito's disappearance, and there's a warrant for his arrest on alleged debit card fraud. Last week, a lawyer for the Petitos repeated the family's message.
For Brian, we're asking you to turn yourself in.
Visitors stopped by a memorial for Petito in Northport, Florida, one last time Monday. The city is dismantling some of the weather-damaged items and giving others to her grieving family. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
The coroner didn't say much about Petito's physical condition, but says she wasn't pregnant at the time of her death. The Georgia Division of Family and Children Services says they need your help finding a missing teen who is believed to have run away. 16-year-old Jasmine Williams was last seen on August 31st in Thompson around 9:30 in the morning. She's about 5 feet 4 inches tall and weighs 110 pounds. She may be in the Augusta or Atlanta areas. Anyone with information is asked to call the number on your screen. That's 706-597-3851. A woman is still missing from upstate South Carolina, but now a Burke County man is behind bars as a person of interest. Burke County deputies arrested Emmanuel Bedford yesterday on unrelated charges of suspicion of grand larceny and obstructing justice. He turned himself into police after being told there was a warrant for his arrest. They believe he has information on the disappearance of 41-year-old Deidre Reed. She was reported missing on September 3rd. Bedford will now be extradited to Pageland, South Carolina. Deadly crashes are on the rise in Georgia. At this rate, we're set to outpace last year and 2019. This comes as we're learning an Edgefield firefighter was hit by a car today. He's alert and awake, but the agency says it could have been much worse. In Georgia, the number of fatal crashes went up to 13% from 2019 to 2020. Our Sloan O'Cone is live at the state line on I-20. Sloan, you talked to GDOT today. Why do they think things are getting worse?
Well, GDOT told me there's only so much that they can do to prevent these fatal accidents, but it really all comes down to distracted drivers. As of this morning, they say we're on track for the number of deadly crashes to be 5% higher than last year and nearly 20% higher than 2019. To help prevent more, GDOT creates rumble strips on the side of the road to prevent people from driving off. They set up cones and warn traffic to avoid or safely pass an accident or road work, and they replace dangerous intersections with safer roundabouts. But despite being proactive in their engineering approach, they say people are driving faster, more distracted, and recklessly, leading to more fatal accidents for those in the car and on the side of the road.
I hope that folks maybe put themselves in those road worker shoes or those responder shoes. If you're out there on I-20 and you feel somebody coming by you that's 2 or 3 feet away going 80 or 90 and not slowing down, it's kind of mind-numbing.
And coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, I'm working on a story talking to a local towing business who's not only lost part of their livelihood, but a life to distracted drivers.
Sloan for that live update. Certainly a great reminder to be safe on the roads, especially with the holidays around the corner. Taking you now outside to a live look over Grovetown, and look at those clouds in the sky, Riley. Today, I have to say, is a nice one.
It really is. Low humidity out there. Temperatures are a little bit warmer this afternoon, but this cloud cover did come back again today, kind of depending on where you're at. You are seeing either some cloudy skies or a few breaks where we are seeing a few blue sky moments here over our studios just off Riverwatch Parkway. We're up to 79 at the moment. We've been as high as 81 so far in Augusta, so about 6 degrees warmer than yesterday afternoon, and there are a few spots that are getting up to 80. Aiken, you're at 80. Washington up in Wilkes County, you're at 81. The rest of us sitting in the upper 70s. Another very comfortable afternoon. Going to stay dry as well. Most likely going to see this cloud cover break up as we continue into this evening. But if you're grilling out tonight, maybe you're heading out to some of our local restaurants, temps should stay in the 70s through this evening, at least until around 8 o'clock. As we head into late tonight and early tomorrow, most likely going to see some low temperatures down near 60 degrees again for your Wednesday morning. Here's a look at satellite imagery just showing that cloud cover across the region. This will continue to decrease, though, as we continue into later tonight. Actually expecting mostly clear skies past midnight. So keep an eye on that front timed out for the weekend. We'll have a look at the full forecast in just about 10 minutes.
Employers are still trying to fill empty positions. Here locally, there were several hiring events today. You still have time to make it out to any Food Lion location. They're holding interviews until 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, Hire Me SC is doing a virtual hiring fair from 9 to 1 o'clock. The Zoom link is on our website, wrdw.com. Employees at the Savannah Riverside who refused to get the COVID vaccine could be out of a job by the end of the week. An email was sent out to employees saying they're going to begin out processing those employees on Thursday. They will have to turn their badges in and any other equipment. All employees were mandated to get vaccinated by October 15th. While some places are mandating vaccines, some are banning mandates. Texas Governor Greg Abbott signed an executive order banning businesses from issuing a COVID vaccine mandate. He's asking state lawmakers to pass a similar ban into law. Governor Abbott is vaccinated and recently battled COVID. He says he encourages people to get vaccinated, but wants Texans to have a choice. As Afghan refugees are still getting used on hosting a mental health summit later this month. Today, doctors at the Medical University of South Carolina spoke about kids and COVID-19. The main question on parents' minds is, will Halloween be safe? With the right precautions, doctors say yes.
So masking, physical distancing, vaccination, hand hygiene, all of those strategies obviously not going if you're not feeling well. And then finally, and this came up last year as well, packaging the treats for distribution individually.
Dr. Mack says they're seeing a rise in other respiratory illnesses and recommends getting the flu shot here soon. New COVID numbers are in for Aiken County schools. Take a look on your left are the new numbers from this week, and on your right is how much they changed from last week. Most numbers are going down. 67 students tested positive, the lowest student cases they've seen this year. Quarantines are below 3,000. Employee cases did go up, but only by 3 positives, and employee quarantines are also fewer than last week. Applications are open for Toys for Tots here in Augusta. You have until October 31st to sign up. If you want to help, they're asking for bikes and helmets, games and toys, 8 and under. They also need new books for all ages. In 2020, they say they gave out almost 45,000 toys to 8,000 kids. Experts are recommending older people stop taking aspirin to prevent diseases. We're taking a look at what they have to say next.
And we are expecting another nice night. Temps down near 60 degrees by tomorrow morning. Take a look at some warmer highs, though, after the break.
Behind county bars, talk.
Evacuations have also been issued for people in the area. But at this time, we're just wondering, when will these fires stop? They seem never ending, Riley. Just the West is really feeling the heat.
I know, especially during this time of year, it's just a transition season, so there's a lot of fronts moving through. It gets kind of windy, and unfortunately, just a very bad wildfire season out west for them. For us here locally, a beautiful afternoon. This is actually a look over Aiken County, where a little bit more blue sky is found there. We had a little bit of cloud cover again this afternoon, but overall, just beautiful fall-like conditions again today. Earlier this morning, we actually saw low temperatures down into the upper 50s in a few spots, and could do that again heading into late tonight. But a beautiful beautiful outlook today. We're looking at temps in the upper 70s again this afternoon, so we are staying away from the mid 80s, and it is thanks to this cloud cover that did show up again this afternoon. Winds are not too breezy, generally less than 10 miles an hour for most of the area, but cloud cover is starting to decrease, so this should be continuing south of the region as we continue into this evening, and mostly clear skies expected for the overnight, staying dry as well if you do have any evening plans out there. Now, the area of just kind of disorganized showers and thunderstorms we've been monitoring near the southern Bahamas, National Hurricane Center has lowered the chance of that developing over the next 2 to 5 days, so only a 10% risk, just not expecting a really favorable environment for that to develop too much the next few days. But high pressure is still keeping our weather pattern fairly quiet, a little bit more active along this frontal boundary into Texas and the Central Plains, where they actually have a severe weather threat. But for us, high pressure is going to stay persistent at least through Thursday. As we head Friday into the weekend, that's going to be our next approaching front. So if you suffer from any joint pain, maybe you have arthritis, that's usually when we start to have some problems, when that pressure does start to lower. So that is anticipated Friday into Saturday. And once that front shows up Saturday, it could produce a few isolated showers, not expecting all too much. This is actually a look at our projected rainfall over the next 5 days. You can see most of that does stay well off towards our north and west, and we just kind of stay in a gap here in the CS, all right, but still anticipating maybe a few stray showers heading into our Saturday. Nothing all too widespread, folks, so even though we are keeping that low chance for some rain by Saturday, really the only thing we're looking at for that front is just a big temperature drop by Sunday. Now, the next several days ahead of that front are going to be warmer than average, actually getting within a few degrees of record highs. Tomorrow, the record high is 89. We'll likely stay in the mid-80s for our Thursday afternoon. Getting a little bit warmer Thursday and Friday, but staying away from those records, but getting close. Definitely will be warmer than average for October here the next few days. Here's a look at our current temps. We are up to 80 in Evans, 79 still at Bushfield. The warm spot is actually up in Wilkes County today. Washington, you're coming in at 81 degrees at the moment. Low temperatures tonight going to drop down back into the upper 50s for a few spots, especially if you live outside the metro in places like Bushfield. Now, inside the metro, most likely stay in the mid-60s, so if you live inside Bobby Jones, a little bit warmer night. High temperatures tomorrow, 85 degrees for us here in Augusta. I think most spots would end up within a couple degrees of that. And same thing up at the lake, maybe a degree or two cooler Wednesday, but Thursday, mid-80s still and mostly sunny. Lake levels are still very full, folks, and there could definitely still be some debris out there, so be safe if you are going to be boating. Now, overall, the weather pattern looks very nice over the next several days. That front is timed out for our Saturday. Could bring us a few isolated showers, but look at that cool down. Waking up Monday morning, possibly in the 40s.
Thanks, Riley. Millions of people take aspirin daily to prevent heart disease and stroke.
12 hours, the search is on for this teen missing from Thompson. Investigators say 16-year-old Jasmine Williams was last seen August 31st. So if you have any information, call the number on your screen.
There are new calls to move over and slow down for our first responders.
An Edgefield firefighter is recovering after being hit by a car while directing traffic. Officials tell us he'll be in the hospital overnight, but he's going to be okay. Still, they say it could have been a lot worse.
We have News 12 Sloan O'Cone for us live just off I-20 near the state line. And Sloan, you actually spoke with a woman who knows just how serious these kinds of accidents can really be.
Sherry and Jeff are the owners of Wayne Towing, and they're some of the first people that are responding to these accidents. And just like other first responders, distracted drivers have affected them physically and personally.
You know, all it takes is 3 seconds to kill someone. I mean, and then you've impacted their entire life. You stole their life from them. You stole a life that, you know, they would have had with their children, their family.
The Corbetts lost their son-in-law, Jason, a year ago. He was hit while towing a car on the side of the road. A few days after the 1-year anniversary of his death, a distracted driver drove into their business.
A distracted driver could have killed someone else because normally someone sits right at that desk every day. And they just happen not to be there at 3 a.m.
GDOT says from 2019 to 2020, the number of fatal accidents went up 13%. This year, we are already 5% ahead of 2020's numbers. It's not just Georgia. Across the river, SC Department of Public Safety reports 777 deaths in 2019, compared to 854 so far this year. And it's not for a lack of design. Officials say it's a lack of attention.
A lot of that is folks, driving too fast for conditions. The main thing is driving distracted, which these days that means being on the smartphone, even though Georgia's a hands-free state, I think we can all attest to seeing the majority of the people that are passing us still have a phone.
Drivers who leave a big impact on people like Sherry and her family's business.
Whether it's driving or like this, or, I mean, your actions affect someone else.
GDOT says that to take a minute and put yourself in those construction workers and first responders' shoes and even think of them as your own family members. Move over and slow down.
Could save a life. Very good advice. Thanks for that, Sloan.
A Burke County man behind bars on charges connected to a missing woman from South Carolina. Emmanuel Bedford facing grand larceny and obstruction of justice charges in Pageland, South Carolina. We're told he turned himself in to the Burke County Sheriff's Office last night. He'll be there until he's sent to Pageland to face charges. That's where Wrdw Reed was last seen September the 3rd. Bedford, a person of interest in her disappearance. If you have any information about this case, call police.
Aiken County schools have the lowest number of students with...
Do yourself a favor and listen to me. Call 844, get MIK. Told you to do yourself a favor and I hope that you learn. Been in the wreck, call a Mike Hostel Law Firm.
If you are looking for work, now's the time to start that job hunt. Companies are laying out more incentives and benefits than ever before.
Experts say they have never seen anything like it. Here's Les Springer with how some local businesses are pulling in prospects.
Many of us have been to job fairs like this one, and for the most part, it's usually filled with nerves trying to win over that employer. But now it seems like employers are trying to win you over. And filling out a job application now probably comes with a lot of perks in store for you.
There's probably a better time than any if you're looking for a job.
We've heard of a buyer's market, and out here at one of the many different job fairs across the CSRA, it's kind of the same thing, an applicant's market.
Companies are now offering benefit packages with sign-on bonuses from anywhere from $1,000 to up to $2,500.
Over at Doctors Hospital, they're offering an up to $10,000 sign-on bonus to qualified nurses. Even fast food places are getting in on the game. Several restaurants at Fort Gordon are offering a $600 bonus to get behind the counter. At Rolls-Royce, employees and contractors get bonuses when their products pass quality inspections. But even there, applicants aren't filing in like they used to.
We have had difficulties finding people. We've been having positions open, trying to fill them for a good 6-8 months. And to be honest, we had a job fair like this a few years back, and there was lines of people.
It's leaving hiring managers hoping that you might stop by and drop off a resume, because that paper in today's market is as good as gold. Celeste Springer, on your side.
So if you're interested in applying to any of the jobs we just mentioned, we have the links and information right there on the website.
And it is, like she said, a buyer's market. So if you're in the market, strike while the iron's hot.
You'll have some choices, won't you?
Lots of them. Taking a look outside over the Bobby Jones Express.